Hi there, my name is Caitlin Bandy and this is my channel BandysBooks, and we are back with another Women's Prize book review. Today we're going to be reviewing Nightbloom by Peace Adzo Medie. This was published June 13th, 2023 by Algonquin Books, and this is the second book by Peace Adzo Medie. Her previous book was His Other Wife, and that received rave reviews as well. When Selassie and Akorfa were kids in Ghana, they were more than just cousins, they were inseparable. But then Selassie begins to change, becoming hostile and quiet. Meanwhile, Akorfa is accepted into an American university with the goal of becoming a doctor. But she soon realizes that racism will put obstacles in her path. It takes a crisis to bring the friends back together, with Selassie's secret being revealed, and Akorfa forced to reckon with her role in the estrangement. So when I initially saw the Women's Prize list, this was one of the books that I was most excited about. I love African literature, and Peace Adzo Medie has been on my radar for a little while. I have her other book, His Other Wife, although I have not read it yet. And Nightbloom sounded like it was going to be right up my alley. So I was very excited to have an excuse to prioritize this book over some of the other books on my TBR. One of the most prominent things about this story is its unique formatting. It is told in two different POVs, but instead of the typical formatting where you see alternating chapters, we instead see the entire first half of the book told from Akorfa's point of view, and then we see the entire second half of the book told from Selassie's point of view. And even still, this is a bit different than usual, because instead of seeing like a timeline that progresses continually through the different POVs, we see the whole story from one POV, and then we restart the same story from the second POV. And then only at the very end of the story do we finally see the two different perspectives crash together in a big dramatic reveal. In terms of how Adzo Medie wrote this story, I think it's really smart to have started with Akorfa's point of view. She is essentially the good child, the kid that comes from the privileged family, the one that gets good grades in school, does everything that her mother asks of her. Seeing the book from her perspective first creates a distinct impression of who her cousin Selassie is and how the world in Ghana operates, before then shattering that perception to pieces. I think perhaps the strongest element of Nightbloom is how thematically rich it is. This book discusses themes like wealth disparity, privilege, sexism, racism, corruption, feminism, and sexual assault. Each subject is handled really delicately and thoroughly. In particular, Adzo Medie explores the theme of privilege in a multitude of ways. First, we see the privilege that Akorfa has and the opportunities that she's given because she comes from a wealthy, influential family in Ghana. Selassie, who is a poor orphan, does not receive nearly the same amount of support or care. Then, as Akorfa attends school in the United States, we see some of her privilege stripped away by the racist classmates that surround her. Then when adult Selassie is confronted with the sexual assault of one of her employees and then chooses to stand up to the attacker, she's confronted with the privilege the attacker has for being a man and a high-ranking government official. So much of the plot meditates on that theme of privilege and power. The setting in this book is part of what brings it to life. We get a clear picture of Ghana through the expectations of the adults in Akorfa and Selassie's life, through scenes like Selassie eating meat skewers called chinchinga and dancing with friends late at night, and through the hustle and bustle of the street outside of Selassie's restaurant. I've yet to visit Ghana personally, but this book built such a clear image of it in my head. In terms of critique, I do think that some readers are going to struggle with the formatting of this story. This book essentially tells the same story twice, and some people might find that a little bit tedious. While I do think that each perspective is different enough to stand on its own, there is a lot of repetition, and some people might get a little bit bored with that. But if you slow down and enjoy this book as you read it, I do think it says some very smart things on perception and how we see the world based on our own individual privilege. Ultimately, I think this is one of the most approachable and accessible books on the Women's Prize list. Neither its themes nor its characters are subtle, but they are indeed memorable. Add to that a vibrant setting and a unique storytelling format, and I think you have a book that'll work for a lot of readers. If you like African literature, deep thematic explorations, and books that explore the bond between family members, you will likely enjoy this book. That being said, it's one of my favorites on the long list so far. So that's the end of this review. I hope that you've enjoyed it. If you did, hit the thumbs up button, comment down below. Let me know, have you read this particular book? Have you read Peace Adzo Medie's other book, His Other Wife? What did you think of either book? Are you planning to read this one? How do you think this will do? Will it make it to the shortlist? Tell me all of the things. And if you're not already subscribed to this channel, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button down below, as well as the notification bell so that you never miss a video, and that way we can see each other again soon. Thanks so much for joining. Bye.